Me and Michael are going to go busking in Covent Garden in our costumes this weekend. It's going to be...
We're just going to keep the costumes on and just busk.
Yeah, see, look at this.
Let's start the song.
예능보다 웃긴 해리포터 비하인드 1, 2편에 이어 3편으로 돌아왔습니다. 이번 영상은 배우들의 인터뷰 위주의 비하인드로 모아보았습니다. 우선 배우들의 성격부터 알아볼게요. 에세이 사건은 해리포터 비하인드의 가장 유명한 일화 중 하나죠. 혹시 모르시는 분들은 예능 해리포터 1편을 보시길 추천드립니다. 에세이 사건은 다니엘, 루퍼트 그리고 엠마가 얼마나 자신의 캐릭터와 실제 성격이 찰떡이었는지 보여주는 예였는데요. 여기 또 다른 예시가 있습니다. 바로 원작 소설 독서 여부인데요. 엠마는 자칭 해리포터 백과사전이라 부른다고 하는데 편당 3-4번을 읽었다고 합니다.
And like I have to know everything. I have to understand every single. I'm practically a Harry Potter lexicon. Like you could ask me anything and I will basically know the answer.
반면에 루퍼트는 촬영하기 직전에 읽었다고 하는데 엠마의 의심 많은 눈빛을 보면 아예 안 읽은 것 같네요.
I'm a book purist, so I've read each one of them 3 or 4 times each.
I usually read them before we start. I always found that. I was quite late reading the last one. I did read it, and I really enjoyed it. I did, yeah. I mean, I read it quite. I left it quite late. I was probably the last one to read it.
In the world, ever.
Probably. But,
in the universe.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the last book.
Don't listen to it. No, I'm glad you read it. I do believe you.
책에 대한 이야기를 더 해볼까요? 우리 대중들은 그저 원작 소설과 영화를 즐기는 입장이지만 영화에 직접 배우로 참여해 연기한 삼총사는 책을 읽었을 때 어떤 기분이었을까요?
When a new Harry Potter book comes out, you must now, having started out just as Harry Potter book fans, it must have really changed the way you read these books now.
You do kind of start to look at it as, oh my God, I'll be doing this.
No, for you it's not a book, it's a list of things to do.
Yeah, I read the 4th book as we started the first film.
Right.
And the Yule Ball,
yeah.
Me and Ron are like, I remember just reading, oh my God, we're wearing dresses?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
What?
I've got to do that, yeah.
Surely.
Did you have a similar moment when you read that, or did you read it?
Oh yeah, definitely, that scared me quite, yeah.
But do you sort of, when you're looking at it, thinking that's another 2 weeks in blue screen, or oh no,
Yeah.
does it sort of ruin your enjoyment or heighten your enjoyment of the book?
I think for me it heightens it because it's like, oh my God, I'm actually going to get to do this because there are kids all over the world dreaming of this stuff.
Yeah. You live in
and
the
you're
dream.
actually going to be able to do it. It's fantastic.
이렇게 캐릭터에 맞게 잘 캐스팅되었지만 캐릭터와 자신을 비교했을 때 자신이 더 나은 점을 말해달라는 질문에 답하는 삼총사입니다.
If you had to make one distinction between the character you play and who you are, what would you like people to be most confident of? You cooler than Ron?
Definitely, yeah.
You want to reassure people you wouldn't have worn that coat?
No, yeah. I like to think I'm a bit braver than him because he can be a bit of a wimp sometimes, and I don't know. I always felt I could sort of relate to him in some ways anyway. Like obviously we both got ginger hair and big families, so...
Yeah, ginger hair and big families.
Yeah, that's us, yeah.
What about you? Anything you want to reassure people?
I think, like most people, I wouldn't say I am as brave as Harry is, really, sort of in contrast sort of to what Rupert said. I don't think I am actually as brave as Harry is. I think few people sort of are, really, because I think he's... And I'm obviously, you know, I'm not as troubled as Harry, because, you know, I didn't lose my parents at age 1, I think it was, or something like that. So yeah, I think that's probably the main thing.
And what about you? You're presumably incredibly clever.
No, no, not as clever as she is anyway. She's, you know, in a bit of a league of her own. But no, probably, well, hopefully, I'm not going to get any support from these two, but hopefully less annoying. She's quite...
No, you aren't as annoying as Hermione, don't worry.
Yeah, no, there is a bit of support there. But no, she's quite wound up, Hermione. She's really, you know, what's the word? She's
uptight?
Yeah, she's uptight. She's uptight. Yeah, that's exactly it. Thank you, Dan. She's so sort of eager and, you know, which is great, but probably I'm a little bit more chilled out, you know, a little bit more relaxed, but yeah, no.
해리포터 팬이라도 구분하기 힘든 게 위즐리 쌍둥이입니다.
He's not Fred, I am.
키와 머리 스타일 모두 똑같은 쌍둥이를 구분하는 비법이 무엇일까요?
How do we tell you apart? What would you say the key? How does your mum do it?
That on there. I've got a mole on my neck there. And James isn't. I haven't. So.
That's it. We have to look for the mole because you're not actually ginger, are you?
No, it's dyed hair. That's a bottle with dark brown.
And what do you think? How do you feel being ginger?
I've got used to it now. Yeah, it's like almost 3 years. When we told people, like we told our close friends that we were in Harry Potter. And yeah, sure, yeah. Then we were walking to school with ginger hair. Everyone was like, what are we doing?
Yeah, no one would do that.
No, exactly.
Who would dye their hair ginger?
톰 펠튼, 조시 허드만 그리고 제이미 웨일렛은 극중에서 슬리데린 삼총사로 출연했는데요. 해리를 괴롭히는 악역이라 굉장히 얄밉게 나왔죠. 이들이 밖에서 사람들을 만났을 때 사람들이 어떻게 반응했을까요?
Okay, on the one hand, you are all three stars of this film, but you're also evil and mean. I wonder when you're in the street, if you're loved or loathed, Tom?
I don't know. The character you portray reflects on a lot of young kids' faces when you meet them. They take it very even when you're dressed as normal as you are and you're saying, pleased,
so what sort of things
pleased to meet you.
What do they do?
They just stare at you as if you're out of this world. Like they all want to say, I want to meet Malfoy, I want to meet Malfoy. And when they see him, they're like,
so close.
Yeah, and that's back away. I don't want to speak to you.
톰 펠튼은 악역이었지만 실제 그의 성격은 천사였다고 합니다. 롤링과 다니엘의 칭찬을 함께 들어보시죠.
No, because I remember the first day we met, I think, was when you came in and all the kids were there.
That's right, yeah.
I think, and you know, Tom
Yes.
Felton had his
Tom
Diablo
Felton had
thing.
his Diablo because he was, he showed my child, then very young, how to use it. And I was always I always had a real soft spot for Tom after that.
Brilliant.
And it was so ironic that we have this arch baddie and he's about the nicest. I mean, we keep saying everyone's nice, but the fact is they are. There were never any brats. There was never anyone objectionable. They were all just really nice people. But Tom is Tom's such a sweetheart.
He's a bit older than the rest of us as well, and was when he was younger, and had done a bit more work.
Yeah.
Like he'd done quite a few films.
Yeah, and in his demeanour off set, that showed. I think he was quite comfortable with being there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, he was so sweet. I do remember that day. All of you in the canteen looking around. It was spooky.
It is amazing.
I remember Devon, who plays Seamus, very vividly from that day because he really looks like I imagined.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was one of the ones they'd really cast someone who looked the way I'd imagined.
이제 캐스팅 비하에 대해서 알아볼까요? 우선 운명 같은 캐스팅 비하를 가진 다니엘부터 함께 보시죠.
I'm not somebody who particularly believes in fate and destiny and all those things, but my parents do. And so the final straw was the fact that I went to the theatre to see a production of Stones in His Pockets, and David Heyman and Steve Clovis, who adapted all but one of the books, happened to be sitting in the row in front.
You believe it?
And I was sat there for the whole time thinking, why is that man keep
staring at me? This
at
is very creepy.
It was very creepy.
I need to phone someone.
It was very odd, and I remember at the interval, my mum and my dad both looking kind of quite intense about something. But you know, when as a kid you're aware that you're being purposely kept out of the loop, you know, for your own good kind of thing. And I remember we went up the stairs, and out of the theatre, and then sort of hid behind a pillar. I seem to remember that it's some absurd notion that David Hayman's Deep Clothes were going to chase after us, you know, grab us.
And make you be a child actor.
And then there was some debate as to whether we would go back in for the second half, but I was really enjoying the play. Yeah, and so we went back in, and then the next day they kind of, my mum and dad sort of went, oh, well, maybe it is the gods sort of trying to tell us something, you know.
But there were a lot of strange coincidences. And then they called me and said, we think we've found him. And then the first time I ever saw you was on screen in my sitting room at home.
Really?
They sent me a video of you. And the curious thing is, and I'm like, I don't believe in fate and destiny.
Which is interesting, because it comes up so much in the book.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you make your own.
Yeah.
But, so I saw you on that audition tape, and it was, I don't think I've ever really told you that I found incredibly moving.
Oh, thank you so much.
And almost, I mean, it was incredibly moving. At that point, I didn't have a son.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, and I phoned David up, and I said, he's great, he's fantastic. And I did say to David, it was like watching my son on screen. Because after all, Harry feels like this ghostly son that I've had in my life.
롤링이 소설을 쓸 때 헤르미온느는 미운 오리 새끼 이미지로 예쁘지 않은 캐릭터로 설정했다고 합니다. 반면에 엠마는 너무 예뻤지만 성격이 너무 찰떡이라 캐스팅했다고 하네요.
But you know, to be honest, you and Rupert and Emma are all too good looking. Frankly, you are. You know, the characters were geeky, and you.
Did you know that was going to happen? Did you sort of think they might?
I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
I did, particularly when do you know what? It was really lucky I spoke to Emma first on the phone before I met her, because I fell absolutely in love with her. She said to me, I've only ever acted in school drama plays before, and God, oh my God, I'm so nervous, I can't believe I got the part. And then she spoke for like 60 seconds at least without drawing breath, and I just said, Emma, you're perfect. And then when I met her, and she was this very beautiful, which she still is, of course, beautiful girl, I just kind of had to go, okay, it's film, you know, deal with it. I'm going to still see my gawky, geeky, ugly duckling Hermione in my mind, but...
Do you think that in a way we shot ourselves in the foot with things like that for then Emma's reveal in the fourth film, where she comes downstairs and there is supposed to have been this transformation?
Well, exactly.
Because we're all looking going, well, she was already a beautiful girl.
Yeah, big deal. Now she's a beautiful girl in a beautiful dress.
Yes.
And putting her in Fair Isle sweaters in the first film didn't make her ugly. Not that Hermione in the books is ever ugly, but it was quite a big deal for me that I had written, you know, a strong female character who was primarily about brain, and that she chose to become a little more groomed and glamorous, as you know, us geeks do at a certain point in our lives. But I accepted it. Emma's a great actress, and I loved her as a person. And I felt there were so many connections between her and Hermione that did it matter that she was beautiful? Come on.
루퍼트가 배우로 돈을 벌어 무엇을 구입했는지 다니엘이 그의 수집품 목록을 말해주네요. 아이스크림 트럭, 호버크라프트, 라마 그리고 앵무새까지. 루퍼트는 정말 꿈과 같은 인생을 사는 것 같네요.
I will just give you a quick list of what is the Grint menagerie at the moment. In terms of cars, I think he's just sold.
Has he got the ice cream van still?
He's still got the ice cream van.
Oh, really?
He's got
I love to think of him in an ice cream van.
Got a hovercraft now as well. Hovercraft. And we had a bright orange Range Rover with blacked out windows. And he said, I'm selling it. And I said, why? He said, that's the colour. Which was presumably why I bought it in the first place. But he's now got like amazing pets, and he's got like llamas and peacocks, and he basically has done, you know, with his money what the rest of us would have done with our money what we said we'd all do when we were 7, you know, and just have the kind of Willy Wonka house.
I'm really happy. I'm really pleased about that.
We always make jokes about Rupert because we always think he's sort of... He is living the dream, and we always say he gets out of bed, just into the water flume, down to the breakfast table. That's how he sort of travels around his house.
롤링은 네빌 역을 맡은 매튜가 어릴 땐 평범했는데 갑자기 너무 잘생겨져서 놀랐다고 합니다.
You know, they cast what they think is this plain-looking kid, and he grows up to be this kind of rock god. We were at a script read-through, and I'm looking along, and I'm feeling all nostalgic. Oh, there they all are, Dan and Rupert and Emma. And then there's this big guy in leathers, a bit unshaven, and I thought, he's probably the guy they've got from McLagan. And I move on, and I think, no, he's Matthew. What happened to you? So that was weird. But
and also one of the coolest, most hard-working guys on that set.
Yeah. I met him at the premiere for Half-Blood Prince, and I said, there's some great stuff for Neville in, and he went, I don't want to know. All right, sorry, just trying to liven up the conversation. There you are.
우리가 해리포터 배우들의 팬인 것처럼 다니엘, 루퍼트 그리고 엠마도 좋아하는 연예인이 있겠죠. 당시 불의 잔 개봉 직후인데 한창 사춘기 때라 부끄러워하는 모습이 재밌네요.
I'm sure your fans will be eager to know this. If we could portkey you into anybody's house,
right.
Who are you a fan of? Who would you most like to spend? Because you'll probably get to meet them. Who would you most like to meet?
I don't know. I've recently got quite into golf. I've been playing that for a couple of years. Probably Tiger Woods, probably.
Is that right? You know he'd beat you.
Yeah, he probably would. Yeah.
Well, Rupert's really good, actually. I've never actually seen, but I have heard that Rupert is very, very good.
Probably not.
Can you practice at Leavesden?
Yeah, they built a little driving range.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Just for you?
Well, no, some of the crew play golf as well. So, yeah, that's quite good.
Okay, so he wants, rather unromantically, he wants to be portkeyed into Tiger Woods'. If you could get portkeyed into anybody's house?
Well, I don't know. Because, I mean, it doesn't make any difference if you get in, and they'd probably chuck you out again anyway if they really didn't want to see you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, probably developing huge crush on Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman?
Yeah, and also probably Scarlett Johansson as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but though, I mean, I don't know if they live in the same house.
Moment.
But,
Are you regretting the Tiger Woods answer now? You both go. You can both go, because portkeys can take a lot of people.
Exactly,
You can both hang on, and then Scarlett and Natalie will be
there waiting
at the other side. What about you?
I'm panicking. I can't think of anyone.
Tiger Woods. He's available.
Tiger Woods is free now. He's feeling.
Well,
he's feeling rejected.
해리포터에 참여하며 배우란 직업을 가지게 되었는데 혹시 이 선택에 후회한 적 있냐는 질문에 답하는 삼총사입니다.
Ever have any moments when you think I wish I hadn't got on this roller coaster?
No, it's never really changed my life. Really, I get recognised a little bit because obviously now I've got this sort of hair, I sort of stand out a bit. But other than that, nothing's really.
Is there a traditional reaction? Is there one thing people yell at you in the street, which people watching this DVD will now know not to do?
Yeah. Well, no, not really. They're just always pretty positive about the film. And that I get called Ron most of the time.
Yeah.
But you can expect that.
I think like everything, there'll always be moments. I think that's just life generally. But I think if anyone asked me, you know, if you could turn back time and you would either go to the audition or you wouldn't, there'd be absolutely no way I wouldn't go. You know, I mean, all the things that we've all got from this, achieved from it, and I mean, never ever go back.
I mean, it's really, to me, not made a huge. It really hasn't made a big difference. Yeah, I get recognised, but I mean it's not like people are coming up to me and throwing bricks or anything. You know, they're always so positive and complimentary that it's like it's not a big deal at all. You know, I mean there's never any question that I would not want to do this, because also what's great about it is that I sort of. It's really helped me with sort of confidence in terms of doing the films. Your confidence does, I think, grow. And I think also it's at school it's great being here because I just feel so sort of comfortable on the set. Whereas I never did hugely at school, and so it's great being here because it's like a place where I really love.
Right, it sort of is your place. It's become that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sort of interested in everything that's going on, really, whereas I never really was at school.
Yeah, I think we've gained so much from it. From, you know, three people of our age who obviously love acting. Harry Potter's given us this amazing chance to break into an industry which is really difficult to get into. We've had the chance to travel. We've worked with the best British actors and actresses. I think we've pretty much got everyone in there now. I mean, I don't know who's sort of left. We've done so well.
해리포터가 아직까지 사랑받는 이유라면 캐릭터의 성장 영화를 넘어 배우들의 성장 영화기도 하죠. 우린 이들이 자라나면서 우정을 쌓아가는 모습을 봐왔습니다. 해리, 론 그리고 헤르미온느처럼 다니엘, 루퍼트 그리고 엠마는 우리 기억 속에 삼총사로 남을 겁니다.
Hard to believe. It'll be us leaving one day.
Yeah.
It's impossible to say really why these films are so popular, but something about those three, Harry and Hermione and Ron, exploring the themes of friendship and betrayal and trust and fear and courage and love, has engrossed the whole world.
And the relationship between the three of them in the films simply has translated into life. There they are. They have the same relationship between Rupert, Dan and Emma as between the characters.
Obviously we've been through a lot together, we've been through this whole experience together, and we've got quite a strong bond in that sense.
To see them on film and to see how far they've come, they've really developed into some fine, wonderful actors.
A lot of the audience have grown up with them, and that's unique. There's a set of characters here that you've seen mature and develop and change. I think that's kind of a beautiful thing. There's probably no series quite like that.
재밌게 보셨다면 구독과 좋아요 꼭 부탁드리고 더 궁금한 점이나 공유하고 싶으신 이야기가 있으시다면 댓글로 남겨주세요. 그럼 저는 최대한 빠른 시일 내로 유익한 영상으로 다시 돌아오겠습니다. 지금까지 더블리였습니다.